Look, oh, I'm live. Okay. Oh, sorry, everybody. Nobody's here yet. Nobody's here yet, Jill. Nobody's. Mitch is first. Oh, I look like. Oh. Hi, Mitch. Hello, Hans. I'm glad you're here because I have a rant about you later. That's that's important. You want to hear the rant unless you're Chiz. What's up? What's up, Flash? Jason, good to see you. I'm glad you guys were able to make it. As you could see, Jill, can I not? Can you? I don't want to hear. She's. Oh my gosh. Yes. 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 Hello, Megan. Hello, Pizza Giraffe. I'm sorry you guys had such an awesome little chat going. I'm sorry I had to change it up, but it was just spinning. I was here waiting and waiting and waiting, and then I hit refresh. And once I hit refresh, it decoupled the camera, so I had to redo it. And there's no way to get the camera back on. So yes, there's a rant. Oh, there's a rant. I had a couple, and I'm not really mad at Hans, but Hans said he's going to watch Halloween Ends after we talk tonight, and I don't recommend that. I think that's a waste of life. It's not just time and money, it's life. You're never going to get that life back. Halloween Ends is a waste of your life. Good on the people who made the movie and were able to, I don't know, get everybody to buy along with it. I don't know. Hey, Philip, good to see you. Hello, Tim. Tim's here. I'm watching Halloween Ends with my TV, with my bad movie club. Yeah, because it's the ultimate bad movie. I mean, there was a guy, what's that guy's name, Jill? Moist Critical? Moist Critical had a very funny review. Penguin Zero? That's his YouTube name. Okay, Penguin Zero. Oh man, he and I agreed. I was eyeball to eyeball with Moist Critical. I mean, I don't know about that name, but that was his name. Well, all right. Now that we've established the IT problems, I have a new mesh router in the house. So I have my setup here. And this is going to be my setup. It's a little crisp. I did like the soft focus, the Barbara Walters soft focus. Well, then I have to use my iPhone. So I got the mic, the new audio, which is what I wanted, the new audio, and so this is the new setup, and we did a test run yesterday with some very select test audiences. Test tickles, if you will. If you're not sure if someone's in a good mood, just give them little test tickles to see if they laugh. No, those are just my test tickles. All right. So we're going to check in with the Magic Duff Bucket because I'm entirely too annoyed with myself in the world. Journey into Night. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it kind of puts it all away, Oh, is the mic picking that up? Oh, take it easy, man. Oh, that's a tasty. Jason, first for tonight, any of you that have the slightest interest in Lovecraftian mythos, if you haven't picked up Malign Providence from CP yet, you need to get over there before they are gone. Sounds like jail time. Hello, Mark. I'm glad you're here for the because the Yankees were delayed. Apparently, Tennessee, the Vols, University of Tennessee, hasn't beat the Crimson Tide or Bama in 15 years. And then what happens? The Terrys move to Tennessee, and all of a sudden, Tennessee's winning. Coincidence? I mean, you could say that. Mike's here. Hello. Mitch is redacting his message. That's always a good sign. Can't wait for you to drink the new batch of Journey with that new label. Yes, me neither, Mitch. Friends down here loved that game. I saw a bunch of it, and it was great. You know, as a recovering Bears fan, and you're never a real Bears fan. They're your team. You kind of get assigned them, and then you try to root for them, and it's always a bad thing. So after years of watching the Bears, Pizza Drafts retracting his message. It was fantastic to see some offense instead of being offended. You see the difference? You're offended as a Bears fan because you don't get offense. Matt's here. Hey, Matt. Just watched the last 5 minutes before that. I heard they tore down the goalpost. I didn't see that. It was like, what, 52-49? Take that, Nick Saban. I never know. I always hear his name and I know who they're talking about. But then when it comes my turn to say the man's name. Morning, Jeff et al. Mitch Hull. Remember, we have an arrangement on your newest brew. Oh, you have an arrangement. Interesting. Yes, sir. We'll be in touch after this next weekend. An arrangement. Mitch is working out the arrangements, Jill. Alabama and the Braves lost. Let's not talk about it. I'm sorry. Roll Tide, you know. I went to Walmart. It's where you go after the game. You go to the Walmart, and I saw somebody with their car, and it said Roll Tide on there. And I said, yeah, for 15 years, that was a good idea. But not this year. The Terrys are in town. It's now 11-C. Yes. Nick Satan. Yes. Thank you for the microphone compliment. Cheap Monday is a clothing brand, apparently. It's now defunct. This is the part of the show where we dance. But since I go live on Monday, I thought Cheap Monday. And yeah, that's like an upside down cross. I don't know what an anti-Christianity has to do with clothing. I don't know. Pizza Giraffe delivers eaten pizza, and he's half pizza and half giraffe. Hot Today Touch pizza. Oh man, with this new crisp, clear webcam, I'm gonna need to put. I'm gonna have to wash that gray right out of my beard. Do they have a Grecian formula for beards? Oh, I worked 5 hours on this hair. Okay, so what do we got to talk about? A bunch of stuff. We got a lot to talk about. Mostly, I'm mad. Everybody seems to be getting together, and it's Philip FRACASSI's hanging out with Thomas Oldehuvelt. Thomas Oldehuvelt is hanging out with Paul Suntup. Hans is hanging out with Josh Mallerman. Everybody is getting together and hanging out. Yes, they do. You can die. I did it for about 11 years. I'm dying it. I heard that Halloween Ends is your favorite movie. Hi, C. Oh, I see what you did there. Your name is C, and then I said hi, C, and now I have to pay royalties to Hi C. Are they still a company? Hell yeah, Josh Mallerman was so cool. Yeah, you're about to hang with McCammon. So, well, that's my revenge. So our boy there, Thomas and I spent some time discussing Jeff. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I asked him for an arc of Oracle so I could read it before I have him on again to talk about it. He is Oracle in November. Oracle sounds awesome. Kids are walking around. They find a sunken ship, like, a big ship, but it's not a spaceship. It's sunken in the earth. There's no water anywhere near it. So how'd the ship get there? And the kids walk in and they don't come out. I'm curious. Aren't you curious? You're curious. You have to be curious. I need to Jill, I need to dye my beard. Did you see all the books Josh signed to me? Huh? Did you? Well, Chiz is hanging out with Uncle Stevie. Chiz could just. If Paul Suntup hung out with Thomas, it's probably to arrange another limited edition. I also think Paul Suntup slipped him a stack of artist edition signature sheets. I bet you he got Thomas Oldehuveld to sign it while they're in. He said, "Hey, you sign these sheets, come to my office, sign these sheets, and we'll go out and have a nice lunch." I bet you that was arranged. I bet you. But I don't know anything. You don't know anything. Let's know nothing together. 100% curious. Yes, Hans was hiding from me, Jeff. I know what you mean. Really? He was hiding? That's a shame. I expect all of you, when we're out in public, to behave and get along. You guys have an obligation to one another. If you're going to be here on Mondays to hang out and talk books, you should all be friends. Got to get along. Yes, Mitch called it. Yep. Thomas did indeed hang out with Paul. My understanding was nothing was discussed outside of Hex. Well, I think Paul would do well to consider Echo. I loved that book. There's a lot of I don't know. I'll just say Hex was a worldwide blockbuster and hard to beat in sales, and I think it's much loved. I don't know if Echo's the same regard. I thought Echo was a better book. Not by much. Hex was awesome. So I think the guy is brilliant, and both books, if he did Hex, Echo is totally worthy. I'm only talking about like the other response. I don't know what the reviews are getting. I thought it was brilliant. Do you have an idea as when Cemetery Dance will get Pet Cemetery for pre-order? Yikes. I don't even know if I keep talking about Chismar. Oh, by the way, there's a new item in the Jeff Word store. Just saying, there's a new mug for anybody who would care to have one. But I don't know. I'm worried that Chismar is just going to say, you know what? I'm going to refund you all your money. Here's all your money back. You're not getting the stand. Because I want the stand. So Pet Cemetery, I used to keep a little bit of money in my CD account, Cemetery Dance account, for when they release Pet Cemetery, so that I could just use those funds to pay for it. But I'm not holding out hope. I don't know. I think the stand is either a very late 2023 release a very late 2022 release. So maybe December. But I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's been in production for a while. I've seen the fat stack of the page block like a year and a half ago. So I don't know. But I'd imagine they're not going to take the Pet Cemetery orders until they ship the stand, which was a debacle. Ned Dameron, Francois Villancourt, Glenn Chadbourne. I think Ned wasn't there. There was another artist before Ned Dameron. There was a guy named Courtney something, right? Yeah, and I thought he was on the stand, but maybe I'm misremembering. Yes, a chiz mug, a chizzy chiz mug to go along with the chizzy chiz hug. What? He's a very nice guy. We had a lot of fun talk some insider baseball. That's so cool. And you got your lettered Midnight at the Big Top sign. That's a beauty. Yeah. I saw you getting your signed by Josh. You stopped him in the middle of the book fair and he signed them for you. Cool arc. Yeah. Oh, wow. I so hope Hex is signed, currently reading it and loving it. Yeah, it's a great book. I'm glad you like it. Outsiders AE arrived today. Very happy with this one. The artistic style was a great choice. Now, I always ask producer Jill's opinion on the books I get, and she has varying degrees of opinions. And it is her right. And she loved the art for this. I got an interview with Jeff Echevarria on the site, on my channel. If you want to see what the guy's like, he's a totally normal guy. I used to work with guys just like him when I was a Teamster. He seems very, very much like a beer chugging baseball game guy. I don't know what that means. But I did not notice that Paul subtly dropped a FRACASSI in his last Suntup. What are you talking about? I don't know. He read a comment where someone was asking for him to do a FRACASSI book. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, so I'm reading this. Nice segue, Mitch. I'm reading this. Apparently, I'm one of the first people to get the hardcover. So this is a cherished. I haven't gotten very far because we have guests coming in, so we've been kind of crazy. But damn, I'm not saying this is going to be my favorite FRACASSI book, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was after I read this. It's a fantastic setup. I will say I did a video a while back saying if you like Stephen King, here are 5 authors you need to read. It's Thomas Olduvelt, Josh Malerman, Robert McCammon, Joe Lansdale, and Philip Fracassi. And that video has only got truer the more I've read Philip Fracassi. This book, I mean, it just starts out, but it feels like tapping the same vein as classic King, same sort of storytelling power and magic. And wow, I am so pumped for where this story goes. You know, sometimes you look at the size of the book and you're like, when does it get good? Like, how far do I have to go before this starts paying off? If I have to put another quarter in this slot machine, I'm going to lose my mind. When's it going to pay off? And I already hit the jackpot, and I didn't even get that far. Already hit the jackpot. Fantastic book. Fantastic book. So that's my plug for the book. It's out next week. Get it from VJ so you get a signed copy, because Fracassi's got he's got a 6 sig. That's what I would say if I was him. I got a 6 sig. And this is not from VJ. I cannot tell you my source. You don't want to know who I know. You don't want to know. I have yet to read The Stand. No, you. Oh, well, you have to read it. You have to. You have to read it. Yeah. Yeah, that child is incredible. That child. Best book of the year for me. Well, I'm not shocked. That reminds me, I still need to pick up my copy of Child Alone from VJ. I wanted to wait a little closer to publication. Hopefully signed first. Or still. I'm sure. I'm sure they are. I know VJ did run out of Daphne's from Malerman, signed Daphne's, which is weird. But yeah, yes, Mitch. And I'm glad you're having it on a Tuesday so I can attend. I mean, if you were having it on Monday, I'd cancel my Monday live because I'd have to see Fracassi and Malerman. That's maybe I'll dye my beard by then. Okay. All right, if that's what you got to do, Ian. My son's having an episode in the kitchen. So, wasn't that first chapter brutal? Yeah, it was. That first chapter was quite something. And I think it feels like it's bringing together a bit of the grief and stuff. It's like of don't let them get you down. The grief element, and it's sort of worlds are coming together. It's just great. Um, and it's funny. I just read Fairy Tale, then I read Cujo, and now I'm reading this. But Fairy Tale also figures as a father son thing. But anyway, whatever. It's a great book. I cannot recommend it enough, and I'm not even done with it. I'm trying to blaze through it so I can put up a review. So anybody on the fence who's still deciding on whether or not to get it from VJ or wherever you buy quality trade editions, that if you're on the fence, you'll have at least my thoughts to sway you one way or the other. Although I would say, based on what I just said, I don't know why you would wait. FRACASSI. I'm telling you, man. I am a pretty picky reader. And that's not to say elitist. I'm not like an elitist snob or anything. I like fun thrillers, and I like silly, crazy things and things like. But I can be a picky reader, and if you don't win me over, I'm just done with it. And my tolerance has gotten a lot lower over the years, where I don't put up with it. But so I say it in all seriousness when I say FRACASSI is going to be at least an heir to the throne of Stephen King, if not the next king. I don't say that lightly. I don't say it just because he's here either. Replay was so good. I started Fairy Tale, but I'm thinking about shelving it for a while. Here's some poor reviews. Now, I gave it 4 stars, and when I look back, I'm like, it didn't deserve 4 stars. I said in my review 3.5, but I round up because I'm feeling generous. But Fairy Tale was fun to read, only just to read a King book. I haven't read a King book in a long time. I read Cujo right after, and that's 4 solid stars. So I felt bad giving Fairy Tale 4 stars and then Cujo 4 stars. And when you look at it, you're like, oh, he liked the books the same. No, I like Cujo a lot better. But it is grading on a curve. It is a new King book, and just some appreciation and respect for King. But I don't know. I would read it. We're doing a giveaway for a flat signed Child Alone in our virtual event. FYI, a flat signed Daphne 2. Nice. Those are. I didn't read Daphne yet. I'm going to read Daphne, but you bet your ass I'm watching that whole thing. I'll ask mega questions. Love giveaways. Never win, though. Well, work it, Emilian. I love Fairy Tale. I disagree with Jeff about the middle. To me, it's vintage King. Okay, well, that's good, Mark. You're wrong, but that's okay. No, it's the middle. Just because the beginning is good, but it is a little bit of little sappy, a little schmaltzy, right? A little bit. I've seen reviews saying the kid is too good to be believable, and he takes care of this old man and the dog, and everything is just goody two shoes sort of stuff. But the beginning is great because you still have the anticipation of what's in the shed and what lies beyond the shed and all that stuff. So you got that thrill of discovery. But then once you go into the shed and once you go into that other place and you discover what's there, And then what King does and doesn't do with it, it just feels really? I read the Talisman. I read the Dark Tower series. King can really fire on all engines and create all these worlds you totally believe in. And this just felt small. And I know when I thought back on it, he does convey distance and journey, but it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't work, the same way. Fairy Tale was a 3 out of 5. I don't regret reading it in this light. I don't either. I'm glad I read it. Everyone knows Richard Chismar will end up finishing King's unfinished novels. I will flip over this desk and burn my house to the ground if Chizhug is the one who inherits the empire. So the thing is, if when I say heir to the throne, I'm not saying that Philip Fracassi is going to have a close writing relationship with Stephen King, and therefore get the blessing, be handed the crown or anything. I'm just saying the legacy, the spirit of where those fans should migrate. Not that we have to pick one author, but I think that would be fair. Like that share should go to someone like King, and Fracassi's there. Chismar is nowhere close to a good. I mean, here, let me just say, technically he's a good writer, but he's a shit storyteller. Chismar tells stories. Technically, he can write, he can make a sentence, he can plot a narrative, and he can get you to turn the page because you're wondering what's around that corner. But the stories he tells are not worth reading. They are stupid, pointless, self-serving. He writes to hear himself write. Kind of like somebody who has a podcast to hear himself talk, right, Jill? Yeah, she's laughing because she knows I'm talking about myself. But his stories are not worth listening to or participating in. I'm trying to finish my book I'm reading now so I can read Daphne before the vent. The vent. Well, that's the cool kids, Mitch. You're of that generation where you just don't say event, you say vent. Everything gets chopped down to a syllable, right? Jeff, have you watched Mr. Harrigan's Phone yet? No, because I didn't read it. So all I know is Mr. Harrigan's phone says chiz hug at some point. Sorry, I disagree. Mark is just being. Why do you got to be so confrontational, Mark? I'm just kidding. I'm awaiting my special edition Fairy Tale with Glenn Chadbourne art from Overlook Connection. They don't seem to respond to requests for updates, though. Yeah, that's kind of a crazy operation. It's the beauty of art. Wait. In Mr. Harrigan's Phone, there is a door in Mr. Harrigan's mansion that the boy tried to open and gets caught. Mr. Harrigan confronts the boy, telling him the dark secrets are behind that door. We never find out what is behind that door. It was a red herring. Wow. So you found out it was a red herring, huh? Wow. See, now that's intriguing. You're like, woo, I want to know what that is. And then when you find out and it's a disappointment, you're like, ah. I think my own personal next kings are Fracassi, Mallerman, and Malfi. Oh, okay. Malfi, I read a little bit of his. He's good stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. A podcast I enjoy, Paperback Warrior, recently agreed with you calling Malfi the new next king. Ooh, really? Producer Jill is laughing at us all because if we were not here to listen to Jeff, she would have to. Oh, you don't even know how true you are, Hans. I was testing the setup yesterday just to see if the mesh router would support the Wi-Fi with no interruption. And I called number one and my stylist to test the connection because they're back in Chicago. And I went an hour. And basically, I was talking to myself. We were just testing the connection. I went an hour. I'm like, Jill, do you realize I went an hour? It's not, it's the sickness. Mitch, it's the latest episode. They were reviewing one of his more recent books, but they've done so in the past. So it's a cumulative sense of being impressed by Malfi. Okay. Malfi. Well, I don't know. When I look back at my 5 authors all King fans should read, I put Lansdale on there because he's a storyteller in the sense that King is a great storyteller. So they have that vibe, but they don't really overlap any other way. So if I was to take anybody off that list, it'd probably be Lansdale. But definitely Thomas Oldehuvelt, Philip Fracassi, and those two met, Josh Malerman and Robert McCammon, who I'm going to see because of Hans having to run his mouth about getting Malerman to sign his Midnight on the Big Top. Well, I cracked mine open and I'm like, yeah, I thought McCammon was in there. So now I'm bringing those two there. And Hans pressured me into getting Speaks the Nightbird first edition hardcover. Now these go for like $150, $120 signed first editions. And I saw a bunch on eBay that were like, like in pretty rough shape. And now this camera is like a fisheye, so it looks like the book is curved. It's kind of funny, but maybe I'll put it in the middle and it won't look curved. Look at that. See? But I bought this for almost the same price of when it was first published. And this thing is in gorgeous shape. I mean, it is just in beautiful condition. And it's unsigned. There's some staining on the page block, and there are a couple of creased pages in there, but overall it's glorious. And what's glorious is there's going to be a Robert McCammon signature in this first edition, first printing of Speaks the Nightbird after December 3rd. I'm bringing a stack. Ooh, this was I was terrified because it's eBay, and the price I paid wasn't even that bad. It was real. I thought a really great price for a book that's 20 years old and in such great shape. Jeff, you said you have no paperback signed by McCammon. Don't you have the Levidian paperbacks? Yes, I do. That's true. I'm a good influence. Lansdale's the greatest storyteller. He is a great storyteller. Okay, where am I at here? That's nice. Okay, Joe is his own self. He is. I like that you have Thomas on that list. I've just only read Hex. I need to read Echo. Echo. I think Thomas Oldehuvelt's a great storyteller, and he's got a big imagination, and he's very original. So, like what Stephen King did for vampires with Salem's Lot, and werewolves and all that stuff, he's sort of added a bit more to the genre, and well, a lot more. But that's what Thomas Oldehuvelt's going to do. He reinvented witches. He reinvented possession. Yeah, it is in great shape. No, I do have the Levidian. I'm talking about like the little paperbacks, like tiny, not the trade paperbacks. But yeah, I have the Levidian bundle, and the one is signed. The other ones aren't. That's okay. I got the bundle, and the one was signed. I don't think I'm going to take all those. So I read Speaks the Nightbird in the 2 paperbacks, 2 volume paperbacks, and I loved it. And so I've never had a hardcover until this week. Oh, Potato's here. Hi, Potato. Hi, Potato. Yeah, you brought a long box of books for Josh. I don't know. I'm gonna bring a bunch. My son's coming with me, so he's gonna carry some in. But I'm gonna get both my Midnight Under the Big Top signed by Robert McCammon. I'm gonna get the trade edition hardcover of King of Shadows by Robert McCammon signed there. I want to definitely give that store some business, not just go there with a wheelbarrow full of books to get signed. And so yeah, Hans has been a negative influence, making me buy books that I love to get signed by authors I love. Shame on you. Everyone have a drink for Jeff so he can refocus. I can't focus. I can't refocus because I can't focus. Now bring him all. The more books he signs for you, the longer you can hang and talk with him without interrupting anyone. That's a good idea, but I feel bad for everybody else. So I'm bringing that. Midnight Under the Big Top and a whole other stack. I shared it on my Facebook, YouTube, my Facebook page for the Jeff Word, and I hope they don't kick me out because I'm probably going to push them into after hours. Because I can bring. So I want to bring Swan Song to get that paperback signed because I've had it since I was 15. So it would be hugely sentimental, even though the paperback's not in great shape. But what are you going to do? Sentimental, hugely sentimental. Jeff and I have discussed Echo. I'm having a hard time getting through it. Talking about Dragon in the middle. Okay, so there's a good portion of the book. The book starts with a bang, and then it does deal with them as they try to cope with the possession and how that manifests. And there's split narrative, so it goes back. It takes place. It splits temporally, so it has some flashbacks, and it splits narratively where you have Sam and Nick, the 2 names, telling their stories. So it does, but I loved it. I wasn't bored at all. Another good reason to bring more books. Some of these signings can run longer than they have readers waiting to see the author. So have more books in case it's a dead sign. I doubt this will be dead. I called ahead of time. They said it's going to be well attended. I go, well, they go, we close at 6, but we'll stay open until the last person in line gets to see him. And so I think they anticipate a long night of signing because it starts at 3 and he's not speaking. So the line starts moving to the table to get signed, to get books signed at 3. And they anticipate going past 6. So, yeah, I've actually heard that it drags a bit. I think that's what's kept me from diving into it. Okay. Just got an email from Paul Miller regarding Gothic. Oh, getting number 29. Well, congrats. I think they are going to be shipping soon, I hope. Marla is shipping now. By the way, Jeff, what are you doing next month, Jill? Playing a trip? Next month? Oh, why am I dying next month? I don't know. I always say that. I always say. It is fun. I said that. Catch me live until I'll go Friday. I'll go live every Monday until I die next month. I don't know. Because then if it happens, it's like, ooh, he prophesied. And then it'd be like viral or urban legend. Yeah, my biggest regret when seeing Stephen Graham Jones was that I didn't bring my fat stack of books. I only brought 4. Yeah, I'll get there in a big sign. I'll say only 2 books allowed to be signed. Love the leaf blowing. It's meditative blowing those leaves. Yeah, I called and I said, "Do you have restrictions on what you can get signed and how many?" And they said, "No, they don't like it if you're bringing books to get signed that you could buy in the store." That's the only thing. It's not there's no limit on books, and but if you're bringing books that are out of print or not available in their store, and I looked at what they had because I still need Queen of Bedlam. I don't have that book, and obviously they're not going to have they don't have a first edition Speaks a Nightbird. They don't have Midnight Under the Big Top. At least they don't have the lettered one. So I'm um I'm confident I'll get away with it. There's so many book fairs going on lately, but none around the Bay Area. Well, yeah, I've been looking at conventions and stuff. There's a I'm getting a signed book from a bookstore in Nashville, which isn't far, and but they didn't have the author there. It's Jason Pargin, the fourth John Dies at the End book just came out. So, um, yeah, you bring the limit of books with you and leave the rest in your car. If the line is done and the author remains tapping his pen on the table, ask if he minds you bring more books. Yeah, I suppose. I met McCammon back in the late 80s when he was touring for a book and hit Seattle, a little bookstore on the second level of Pike Place Market. Good memory. Oh, that's awesome. In the late 80s. Oh man, that I was also looking for a Wolf's Hour. I wanted to get him to sign. I don't even have a copy. I read it twice and I don't have my copy anymore. It was a paperback and it got water damage and I threw it out and I didn't realize I should have kept it. My youngest and I will be there for McCammon. Then we'll hit Jubilee Joe's for some Royal Reds. Well, I'll see you there, Tim. We'll do some photos. So it'll be a 2-channel collab. Tim's going to be there, Jill. It's nice. It is nice. Actually, it might have been 91. That's a whole decade later, Ron. Are you driving, by the way? Stay away. Boy's Life. Oh, that would have been a good one. Hey, sorry, had to disappear for a bit because mom called. Aw. We definitely didn't talk about you, Philip. Amy's here. Oh, hi, Jeff. This is Russell and Oliver. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Amy, Russell and Ollie. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we got guests coming over. We're going to sell them on Tennessee. We're going to pour the sweet tea and the sweet wine, and we're probably going to have food. We're going to have food, right, Jill? We're going to feed them. I can't wait to see you guys. You get to see the library up close. The real library. It's real. Never Any here in West Virginia. Only author to come here that I've gotten to meet is Craig Johnson. I've seen him 6 times. That's a shame, Mike. You could borrow Tennessee, but I don't know. Nobody's coming here. We got Jeff Strand, Chattanooga. So, Philip, we talked about your thoughts on the next king. You were discussed, Jeff lied, and signings. No rant yet. See, Mitch, you're not supposed to tell him because you got to go back and watch. I'm trying to get views, Mitch. Yes, we said you're the next king, Philip. I'll catch up on the replay. Well, that's all well and good. What else do we have to talk about? Yeah, everyone's meeting everyone. That pisses me off. Halloween Ends sucked. I don't know if you saw that, right? Speaking of Mallerman, there is I want to know what the next King title will be. Is it going to be Holly? Yeah, it's COVID-19 story starring Holly Gibney. 2 things I really don't want in my fiction. That's the next King book. Why? Who, after living through COVID and all the mania, who wants to read about it? And Holly Gibney, King's most annoying character. That book is like brain acid, not like the good acid that makes you see things that other people can't perceive, but like brain bleach. Like it's just no. Holly Gibney. That's one I'm not looking forward to, but I'll probably read it when it comes out because it's King. I'll read Billy Summers. Ha, he wrote it anyway, so it'll get published. You don't have to read everything he publishes. Of course I don't. He could put, I mean, at this point, but who wants to read that? I could see maybe pulling inspiration from COVID and writing about how that affects, finding some inspiration in it. I don't know. But it's too soon. Like I don't even want, maybe in 10 years I'll be happy to look back and read it, but just like Elevation. I didn't read that. That seemed interesting to me. It seemed like it seemed, but I didn't read it. And I didn't read If It Bleeds, and I didn't read Institute or The Outsider or Billy Summers. I haven't read a new King since well, Fairy Tale. So it was between Sleeping Beauties and Fairy Tale. That's a dead zone where I didn't read any new King book. So I'm a bit over all the COVID novels. Yeah, I mean, it's like one thing to be you're gonna get, I think, a inspiration. Um, and I am intimately, I'm like always interested in this, seeing how it affects artists and how that gets processed through those creative minds. But I don't know. I guess just seeing Holly and COVID, I'm like, these are two things I don't. I'm there's a bit of fatigue now. Like if this is back in March of 2020 when lockdowns just started happening, it'd be terrifying and intriguing. And you're like, oh, you'd be terrified for the future, but you'd read it because you're terrified for the future. But now that it's gone on this long, and it's just, we're all fatigued. It's like you love those first few snowflakes of every winter, but come February and March, you're just, I don't want to think about winter. Elevation was not the kind of King I generally enjoy, but I read it anyway. Yeah. I'll read it now, Jeff. 10 years from now, maybe I'll not be here. Don't say that, Mark. That's not cool. It's not true. If Holly is 600 pages, I would cry sad tears. I'm hoping it's a hard case crime short novel, and then he'll release a doorstop later in the year. Sleeping Beauties can put a reader off. No, I liked Sleeping Beauties. I did. I was in deep with it because I saw him and Owen when they came to town near Chicago, and I randomly, it was randomized who got a signed book. I got a signed first trade edition. And then I was also on the hook. I bought Cemetery Dances signed and numbered Sleeping Beauty. So I was very invested in the book before I even read it. So I had to like it. But when I read it, and I remember all the criticisms of the book, I'm like, yeah, it was annoying in parts. Oh, men are bad. Men are bad, right? But it was so self-flagellating that I'm like, come on, but beyond that, it was a good typical Stephen King story. A prison, a town, a besieged, the world. It was cool. I liked it. I like to keep my fiction as entertaining fiction. Reality, it sure does, Megan. Sure does. I find shorter King is better, like Misery, The Long Walk, and Shawshank. I don't know. I mean, I agree. I loved Cell. I loved Gerald's Game. But man, The Stand, I actually loved Under the Dome. A lot of people felt that went on too long, but I loved it. The Long Walk is amazing. I got to reread that. I haven't read it since the Bachman books came out, what, in 88, 87. So I got to read it again. There are so many more interesting, memorable characters of King he could write a new book with. I'm not so keen on another one with Holly. Now, Holly and I cringe when I read Mr. Mercedes and the way Bill Hodge treats Jerome, the way Stephen King writes about Jerome makes me cringe. And there's just a lot of stuff that's just not quite cool in that book that I don't like. The story's interesting though, but Holly Gibney and a lot of really awkward, cringy stuff in that book. So I guess that's where it came from. Apt Pupil was pretty brutal. Yeah, it was. I like Sleeping Beauties. Oh, good, Philip. I'm glad you do. Not many do. If I even pick up The Long Walk and read part of it, I will read the entire thing. Happens every time. Loved Under the Dome. Okay. So some people hated it, but I like Sleeping Beauties as well. I agree, Jeff, with what you said. The good parts were very, very good and made up for the parts where they put all men down. I mean, the guy was a bad husband because he bought his wife a pool. Like, I just wasn't buying it. And all men are awful. You know what? When you start using words like all and you apply them to a group of people, you are doing bad things. You can't say all. When you're talking about people, a group of people, you cannot say all or none. Those words should be off limits. And so when Stephen King was saying all men are horrible, I had a problem with. I have a little bit of problem. You could say, and there's a good point, like 97% of the world's violence is caused by men, but 97% of men are not violent. So you can't say all men are violent, all men are awful. And I think King fell into that trap, and that was eye-rolling and annoying. And if you want to say virtue signaling or whatever else you want to say, it was just, ugh. But shelf that, read the story, and I gotta say, maybe there will come a point where women are fed up with men. And also, there were some things about that book that I don't think Stephen King took into consideration. For example, trans men, or trans women, because all women go into cocoons, right? So he didn't even address, did trans women go into cocoons? And because that's a hot button issue and it would have brought heat down on him. And so I think he just avoided the whole thing. But I'm like, you're not nearly as inclusive as you think you are in your high and mighty status there. So maybe just cool it and write a good story and quit trying to work in some morality lesson about all men. Ugh, rant. I didn't plan on that rant. This is like therapy. The only book King has written that I didn't like was Cell. I loved Cell. Under the Dome was classic. Didn't love the ending, but that's okay. I give all King's endings a pass because the journey is so good. Amen, Philip. I've said that many times. But yeah, the ending of Under the Dome is probably King's most WTF ending. What? I appreciated what he was saying. He's basically, and I'm not going to spoil the ending, but he's saying that in the universe scheme of things, mankind might not be the top of the food chain. So quit with your sort of running over all the world's dominion is yours. So maybe take a slice of humble pie. But it was like, yeah, okay. Weird. There is a part of Under the Dome that made me laugh so hard when some hick kid gets the idea to shoot the dome or blow it up with some M80s or something. Yeah, there's a bit of that. I heard classical music like Flight of the Valkyrie as he hopped on his four-wheel ATV and drove through the town's picnic. Under the Dome brought me back to King after a long hiatus. My renewed constant reader didn't last that long, but I have to give Dome credit for getting me back for a while. Yeah, that was one of the ones that I read and I jumped into. I loved Doomakey too, but when I read Under the Dome, I'm like, oh, this is another beefy one that I didn't want to end. And then it did, and I'm like, well, I should have stopped before it ended. 11/22/63, another long one that was incredible. I got to read that one. You guys, everyone loves it. I gotta read it. Everybody, yeah, I overlooked it. I gotta read it, Joe. 11/22/63. 11/22/63. So, it's a King book. Producer Jill didn't even know it was a Stephen King book. 11/22/63. I have it on my shelf. That's the day Kennedy was shot. What? It's the day. What else am I saying here? What else? Oh, you're gonna love that one. And he nailed the ending. Okay. Oh, I think Jared just knows that many of his customers are King fans, and he thought it would make for a good discussion. It's gonna be fun to see. I sent him my top. And I am curious to see what Jared does with that information. It would be nuts if he comes out. I mean, here's what I think. Nobody's trying to gauge demand. Like, should I do a Stephen King limited? Well, let's see which one the fans like. Nobody would do that. You don't need to do that. You do a King limited and it's gold. I mean, it's like printing your own money. So I don't see that as what Jared was aiming for. Because otherwise he would have said, what King book would you love to see in a limited edition or whatever? I don't know. I think it's just an interesting thing. And I think fans would like to see what other Centipede Press readers rank highly. So that's fun. But man, hey, what's up, Chad Lutsky? Oh, my nose is itching. I hate that. It hasn't done that in a while. Must be winter. Must be getting cold. My nose is itchy. Must be dry. Oh, cemetery dance. Do you know there's a cemetery dance Germany? Chad, your name is now Vad. Like your Vad Lutsky, Vad the Impaler. There's a cemetery dance Germany, and they're doing Goblin by Josh Malerman with Daniel Serra artwork, and it's signed by both Daniel Serra and Josh Malerman, and I can't buy it because they don't ship to the States. And I had somebody in England who was willing to buy it and ship it to me, but apparently he couldn't either. So I'm pretty pissed off about that because I do want Josh Malerman signature in a book, a Goblin with Daniel Serra artwork, but it's in German. So do I need to be buying German books? No. It's a rabbit hole. If you were to publish a King Limited, I have a feeling your best bet is one of the Doubleday books, as I don't think King cares anymore how many Salem's Lot or Shinings are out there now. Vlad the Paler. Oh, I like that. Vad the Paler. I'm Ghost White, man. That's nice. I would love a different seasons. Yeah, everybody. No, no, I don't think you can get it if you're in the Bay Area, Alexia. I don't think you can get it. Or Alexia. I used to work with somebody, and she spelled her name exactly the way you do, and it was Alexia. But a lot of people called her Alexia. Some people called her Alexis because they don't read. And so I just defaulted to Alexia. But if you're Alexia, my apologies. Just use a freight forwarder. Yeah, I would have to. But Baron, my thought is, should you be buying a German language edition when you have so many books on pre-order and money is a finite thing and you can't read it when you get it? So I just made the decision like that. No, I have to draw the line. I think PS is doing different seasons. Yeah, they are. Different Seasons is my favorite King book of all time. I got the proof of Different Seasons when I was 12, and I read it to pieces. That's the proper Greek way to say it. Alexia. Yeah, she was Greek. Oh, my family lives in Greece. Oh, okay. Yeah, she was of Greek heritage. Her mother was Greek. I heard something about PS in different seasons too, but not sure if it was just a hopeful rumor or not. They said different seasons is next now that Needful Things is out, but I'm not sure. In fact, I thought they jumped the line with Cujo. It was going to be Needful Things or next, then different seasons, and then Cujo. But I think they shuffled it around. I haven't read different seasons in decades. Yeah, that's a brilliant. Should you? Well, of course not. But you should, says Baron. I should get it because we are all enablers here. You're the wrong people to ask. Whenever I can't buy something since I live in the States, I use my childhood address. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Friend of mine just bought a paperback copy of King's Rage on Amazon for just a few bucks. Others hopped on it, and Amazon. Yeah, that was the bootleg one. The bootleg edition of Rage has gotten a lot of people angry. My mom is Greek, dad from North Carolina. Hey, I think that's similar to my former coworkers here. Greek. Nah, I don't think he was from North Carolina. I was gonna say, Alexia, are you did you used to work with me? I mean, her name wasn't Sims. No. It's a bootleg, yeah. Printed bootleg Rage paperbacks. Yeah. They look cool though. They look neat, to say the least. I can see why people fell for it. Anyone going to spring for that Peter Pan coming out next week? No. I can't. I mean, Conversation Tree Press. It looks cool. It looks beautiful. But no, cannot put that in the no. So gotta run. Thanks as always. Okay, take it easy. Take it easy, Ron. Stay awake if you're driving. I have a copy of Rage. I do too, but it's the Bachman book set. The set. I have a French copy of Rage, but I don't think it's worth anything. Well, if it's a first edition paperback or something like that, it might be. I don't know. I had a pass on the current Centipede press, but we'll hopefully be getting Alligator. Oh, I didn't even get offered. The Babel and Babel 17. Yeah, whatever that was. Yes, that was the Centipede. Yeah, I passed on that. I'd love to get Alligator. Alligator's next week. There's a drawing of Andy on the roof watching his friend drinking beers, feeling like normal men. Yes to Alligator as well. Everybody's saying Alligator, so I'm going to have to do that. I'll pass on the Guy Smith book, Bats Out of Hell. Take that fundage, slide it to Alligator, and that'll be next week. So I'll look forward to buying that. Suntup, Schindler's Ark, guys. Schindler's Ark. What do you feel about that? Schindler's Ark. That book gave me chills when I saw it. The content, the history. Oh, I've never read it. I might have seen the movie once. But that book looked amazing. Letterpress. The art is stunning. I wanted the broadsheet too. Did you the numbered? You weren't able to get a numbered, Hans? My copy of Babel 17 should arrive in the next few days. You know what? I've not been offered Bats Out of Hell either yet. Sadly, I think I've been priced out of Suntup Editions. Yeah, I know. I know how that is. My time is coming very soon. I'm definitely going to be on for the ride to Hannibal Rising. If that is, I don't know. I know what next month's book is. but I don't know what December's book is. Sounds like it's Hannibal Rising. So I'm on till then. And I'm, if that's the case, I'll get Hannibal Rising. I'll have the 4 matching Thomas Harris books. So I'll be thrilled to have that. But beyond that, I don't know. And it's a shame because 2023, my number is 23. So you think that'd be my year. I just don't have the funds after the Merrimack. Yeah. Merrimack Valley. I want to go next year. I want to go to that. I let my number go. I'll wait to see what Q1 brings. Really, Tim? You did? That because I know you had the Harris set, right? Okay, Jeff. Blink when producer Jill is looking away from you. She's not in the. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have read that out loud. What the hell was I thinking? All right, she's gone. She's gone. She's gone. I'm safe. Yeah, Tim, that's huge. I'm surprised you did. I'm sorry you did. I'm just trying to hold on to the Suntup numbered as well. The economy. I know it sucks. Give us a signal. We could talk. We could talk for real. We could talk. I mean, she's not here. Like, we have guests coming tomorrow, as you heard Russell and Ali say, and she is preoccupied with that. So, by all the Suntup numbers, we need you to do it. I would love to stay on indefinitely. I would love to buy every numbered, every artist, every lettered. I mean, if money were not an issue, and let's say I had Philip Fracassi money, because he's a big, he's signing deals, man. The guy's rocking and rolling. Oh, wrong book. I just reached over. He's rocking and rolling, kicking all the ass. He's going to be the next king. So if I had Fracassi money, yes. I'm kidding, Philip. I'm joking. I'm just joking. I understand. You're immortal for now. You are amortal for now. You'll be immortal later, but, well, you're actually going to be immortal with the books. How does that feel, Philip? To have your books out there in the world, and they are going to be here. I don't know if they're not, there's no guarantee anything stays in print, but that's got to be great. You got to love that, man. And then getting those boxes of your trade edition. And I saw, Philip, you referred to, I didn't mean to turn this into a Fracassi interview, but I saw you refer to it as your debut novel, even though that was Boys in the Valley. But did you mean debut trade edition, like trade novel? Because this is your first mass market trade novel, and so we could refer to it thusly, because your first ever novel published, debut trade novel. Yeah, your first ever published. I also have that. I got the Fracassi cred going. I think they'll stay in print for a long time, especially because CD will probably release The Wheel in 30 years at least. Yankee game postponed till tomorrow because I'm on, man. They did like debut novel for the bookstore buyers. Yeah. The idea is more people other than the 500 will find the book. Yeah, but you got the best of both worlds because all the people are going to get Boys in the Valley. If I get a Tor Nightfire arc of Boys in the Valley, I will not take it to the beach. I promised myself I would never talk about that again, but there I am. And do you notice I mentioned some pain, some trauma, and I immediately reached for the Journey into the Night. I love me some day games. Definitely will get you Arc of Boys. See that now I feel awful for mentioning that. I kind of said I wanted an arc of Boys in the Valley from Nightfire. I know. I just make everybody cringe. Jill's mad at me now. So yes, Earthling is shipping Marla. Atlanta has a day game curse. Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves. I don't follow baseball. I don't. Earthling is shipping Marla. That is all sold out. Happy for Paul Miller there and Jonathan Jans. Mail Jeff the Ark wrapped in a beach towel. It's funny. Mail the Ark in a container of water. Oh, excited for that Marla. We'll read that after Daphne. Now, Marla is fun. It is a fun read. It's not like I like to have my expectations set as much as possible when I read a book. And usually it's the author who sets those expectations after I've read a book or two by that author. So now I'll know what to expect. So I've never read Jonathan Jans before. And so I had no expectation, but I wish somebody would have said, this is going to be, it's not serious. It's not like, some people are like horror, serious and dark, and they come off as caricatures of horror, or they're bona fide, the real deal, and they're going to scare the crap out of you, or it's heavy duty and you're going to have to use your brain. Marla, you don't have to use your brain. It's a lot of fun. So just want to set your expectations. It's a fun read. It's a fun read. Oh yeah, I got to chill with Jonathan Jans for a while, waiting for Josh Malerman to show. Oh, how did he feel about that? Hey, Jonathan, you mind if I kill some time with you while I wait for an author? Well, I'm waiting for Josh Malerman. The real deal. Oh, that had to feel awful for the guy. Yeah, I've got zero expectations for Marla just because I've had. Yeah, I mean it's got chainsaw in record time from SST. Yeah, Paul Fry's dealing with a lot of Royal Mail drama, so I don't get Stephen Graham Jones titles. I haven't got on that track. I probably wouldn't have gotten on the Grady Hendrix track either. Now, if he did it now, I probably wouldn't do that. Jans had the Marla Limited on him too. Oh, he had it there. So it does look beautiful. I like that cover. Now, when I saw that cover, obviously before I read the book, it looked cool. I'm like, oh, that's neat. Then when I looked at the cover after reading the book, I had a new appreciation for that cover. So that's fun. It's all fun. Jonathan Jans was next to Malerman at Merrimack. Really cool guy. I'm sure he was. Yeah, it must have sucked when I bought his books and none of Joshua's. Oh, yeah, that's a shame. I mean, it's a hard thing, but Jonathan doesn't he have like 40 books? That's what it said on his Goodreads. I don't know if that's how many books he's read or how many he's written. But I'm sure he's read more than 47 books. But I did not realize he had quite the library. I got an Arc of Midas from Paul, next year's Halloween release from Tyler. Did you read it? I saw that going around. I'm like, how early does he put out these? I mean, that's like the very early advanced review copy. The early readers. So no, okay. So wild that we know the next Halloween release already. I don't even know who Tyler Jones is. I've never heard of that author. So I gotta say, don't tell Paul Miller I said this. I hope he's not around here. He doesn't watch these. The release before Boys in the Valley, the Halloween book before, I did not like. That was a DNF from me. And that was weird because I've loved everything I've read basically from Earthling, the new authors I've read. Like I said, 3 of my favorite authors were I first read as Earthling authors. Actually, Joe Lansdale too. So Joe Lansdale, Sarah Pimborough, Josh Malerman, Philip Fracassi, all were Earthling authors. And so when I read One Who Was With Me, oh man, that was a downer. A real bad downer. So I took a gamble with his next book, which was Boys in the Valley. I'm like, yes, Paul, send me an arc. I'll read it. I'm sorry I didn't love the last book. Just keep me in the loop. I also asked him at the time for a Dark Across the Bay advanced review copy, and he didn't get me one. He's like, no, sorry, you're too late. And then those all went out. And then I didn't think I thought he was mad at me. Maybe he wasn't. I'm just a drama queen, So I said, I'll take the Boys in the Valley. He's like, fine. I'm like, I really need to like this book. And it was awesome because it just worked out so great. It was like, damn, I read that book. I'm like, I got to see if I can interview Philip Fracassi. And then, and now we're here. Jans doesn't have that many. On Goodreads, it's probably listed him having stories. Okay, Nanthos. Tyler Jones is good. Great guy, too. Oh, that's good. I gotta check him out. You mean the Halloween book from Earthling the year before Boys in the Valley? Yeah. I DNF'd One Who Was With Me as well. Oh, yeah, man, that book. It's a shame. It was like there was some World War II tie-in. I just couldn't tell what that book wanted to be. I just couldn't do it. I DNF'd it. Tyler has good stuff. I did the introduction to his book, Dark Side of the Room. I've had a feeling Paul would do a Ross Jeffrey book soon. He seems to send a lot of arcs to him, so it seems they have a good relationship. What's up, Logan? Yeah, well, I think Ross Jeffrey he has his YouTube channel. But yeah, he's close to people in publishing. So Jeff Terry's going to write a book, and then I'm going to send it to Paul Miller. Oh, that reminds me. In November, I'm going to do, there's the NaNoWriMo challenge where they say write a book in November. I'm going to do that. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to try to write a book. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. No promises that I'll ever share it with anybody, but I'm totally going to do that. I bet it's a good book, One Who Was With Me, and someday I may finish it. I read it. I read the spoiler on it, and I think I flipped to the end of the book and read some of it, and I'm like, oh, that the twist in the book, didn't dig it. Doing Movember too, isn't that like mustache in November? I mean, I could share a picture of me without facial hair. I could share a picture of me with just a mustache, but it traumatizes my family to see just to know those pictures exist, get everybody upset. So thank you, Chad. Because I trust Paul Miller's taste in stories. I know, and that's why One Who's With Me was such a downer. I thought I burnt all of my goodwill with Paul Miller by writing my Goodreads review, but he wanted an honest review. Reminds me of your favorite YouTuber, Jeff. He started writing a book recently. No, wait a second. No. Oh, wait. Are you talking about the guy whose name starts with a Z? He cannot possibly be writing a book. He barely reads the books. You can't be talking about the guy whose name starts with a Z. No, he's not. He's not writing a book. He is not writing a book. That guy cannot be writing a book. That guy is the stupidest. He can't be. His name starts with a Z. Send me a message, Mitch. I'm not going to out the guy. He cannot be writing a book. The guy, this is his book review. I picked up this book, Child Alone with Strangers. I kind of like the cover. The cover is cool. You know, it's pretty. The spine looks nice. It's a thick book though. It's probably going to take me a while to read. So I don't know, but this is his reading vlog. So it's going to take me a while. And then like the next day or so, and when he does his review, he's like, I don't know, it's about a child and he was alone with strangers. I don't really know. I might give it 5 stars. I might give it 3. Yeah, 3.5. I don't know. But it had some stuff in it. There were some words in it. There were some characters. And I don't know. I like the cover though, and it was heavy. It was thick. It was a thick book and had this cool cover. So he doesn't know what he reads. He talks about it later. He doesn't know what he reviews book. He cannot be writing a book. There's no way he's writing a book. He has said he's an audiobook only guy, so you're all literally the same exact person. He's an audiobook only guy. I suck at audiobooks. I feel like the only person who doesn't like it. Oh, I think I gave it 4 stars. I don't know. Check my Goodreads. He did a book. I mean, you just have to see the guy's videos. There's nothing more infuriating than somebody, and Sean Lynch could watch my channel and say, Jeff Word, oh, the guy's such an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But I know worlds more than this guy, this other guy, not Sean. Sean Lynch is like super studied, and when he does it, you get a lot of good information. So same thing with Tim. Tim's an entertaining, informative guy. So those are two great booktubers. And Sin's another great booktuber. But this guy doesn't know what he read. He literally, he said, okay, he had a recent video that said 5 books that didn't stick the landing, or 5 books I DNF'd. One of those two. He said he didn't finish these books. And one of the books he held up, and he's like, I don't know why I didn't finish it. He held it up. He's supposed to have a reasonable discussion about a book that he invested time in, and he held it up. He goes, I don't know why I didn't finish this book. I just stopped one day. This is what he says. He's reading the book. He goes, I actually kind of liked it. I just stopped. I don't know why. This is content. Oh, I'm broken. I only trust Jeff and Daniel on book stuff. Oh, Daniel Green. He's my guilty pleasure hate watch YouTuber. I genuinely can't stop watching his videos. I have a problem. And me too, Mitch. Like, there's so many times producer Jill walks by and she's like, are you watching that guy? I'm like, yes. I'm so pissed off. The guy knows nothing. He has double my subscribers. I mean, kudos to him. All of his favorite King books are my least favorite King books, and all the King books he hates are my favorite King books. We are polar opposites. He did a bookshelf tour. He had like 15 copies of Rosemary's Baby. None of them were next to each other. You go watch his bookshelf tour. He doesn't even know what's on his shelf. He's like, I don't know, right here we got some random stuff. I don't know, just a bunch of random stuff. And then his wife is there like a stage mom. We'll show him the cover. Well, which one do you like? What one do you like? Talk about that one. What, this one? He'll pull a book out. Like he's trying to appease his mom. And then they go on book shop. Oh, you started it, Mitch. They go on a book shopping expeditions where she films him book shopping. And he's like trying to ignore her because he's in a public place. Trust me, guys, it's not easy to film yourself talking in a public place into a phone. It's weird. You get looked at from people. It's very self-conscious. It takes a certain level of distance. You got to distance yourself from reality to do those videos. So it's not easy. So I'm not blaming him, but he's like talking to her like he doesn't even know she's there with the camera. And he's like, yeah, I don't have this book. Yeah. And he'll pull one down from the shelf. He's like, yeah, this is a book. And he'll like trying to talk to her on the sly. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing this in a store. Then why are you doing this? Are you worried about the random employees at Half Price Books, or are you worried about your viewers? I think you need to worry about your viewers, because they're not going to kick you out of Half Price Books for doing a video. Oh my God, the guy's, and then yes, every time I'm like, but he's got double the subscribers, more than double my subscribers. And he didn't have to give away books to like create any buzz. I don't know how he got any of his watchers, unless it's just rage inducing. Oh my God, that guy is. Booktubers and good readers, their books' total read number is inflated by single published short. Okay. Do you realize he lives in Chi-Town? I know he does. And yeah, we could have collabed. Definitely not now. And I never did a rant about him before, because it's not cool. Like, the guy's doing his thing, right? He's finding his way through this world. You can watch him or you cannot watch him. You can thumb it down if you want. You could thumb it up. More power to him. Just like Bentley Little. Bentley Little writes pointless books, and he has an audience, and he makes a living, and he smokes peyote out in Arizona. I don't know what he does. I don't know why I chose peyote. It's a drug. So more power to him. More power to CJ Tudor, Richard Chismar, all these people that I don't agree with, but they're doing it, and they're doing it well, and they found their thing, and I don't begrudge them their success. But this guy knows nothing. The first 5 minutes of every video is him talking about his other channels and what you should watch. Check out my other channels. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Then he starts, let's get into the books. Then he gets into the books, and he's never even gotten into the books. Oh my God. So people on Facebook are claiming they have read 600 books in a year, and people are scoffing them and writing and arguing how that is even possible when actually 600 titles for so many shorts. That's funny. You found him. You got to let us know who he is. It's not fair. And you know what? I feel bad. I do. These are people behind these things, and I'm not going to share his name. If you guys want to message each other the name, that's fine. It's not fair. The guy is doing his thing, and it's not cool. It's so not cool. But this is the kind of shirt I would wear if I was reading a book he wrote. And you know what? What if the guy's a whiz-bang author? Maybe the guy's going to be a great author. You go get it, buddy. You go get it. You do you. And much success. I wish everybody success. Except Chismar. But even him. He will have 30 new subscribers after tonight. See, I'm feeding the beast. You give fuel to when you think about bad things, you give fuel to bad things. When you think about your enemy, you empower your enemy. Especially in social media world. So now I got to get him to hate me. So his 4,000 subscribers can jump on to the Jeff word. And I don't know. And what? I don't know. It's just, I got other stuff I'm supposed to get to. Last hint, he recently hit 4K. Yeah. God. I've been looking forward to this insane rage-inducing rant for a long time. It didn't disappoint. Well, anyone looking forward to Bob Dylan's new book, Chronicles Volume 1, is top 3. No, Bob Dylan, much love to the folk artist, singer, true artist, genius, yes. Unlike this other booktuber. I will say the guy did a golfing video, was wearing 2 gloves. 2! No! No, he did a golfing video? What did I not see? Is this like on his other channels? Because he's got like 500 channels. And they probably all have 5 times as many subscribers as I do. And I'm not throwing a pity party for me. I mean, if you want to pity me, that's fine. 2 gloves. Is it the guy studied on anything? Does he? Two gloves on one hand. Yeah, you know what? Maybe yes. Maybe he had Vaseline on his hand and he put a glove over that because he's keeping his hand soft. See, he wouldn't even understand that reference. He wouldn't even understand that book reference. And then a glove over that glove to keep that glove soft. 2 gloves. Oh, that's awesome. Gloves on both hands. He may get insanely bad blisters. We don't know, and we'll never know, and I will never know. Yes, of Mice and Men reference. And Hans, I will say you could drop references that I'll never know because you knew that, nothing wrong here. You picked that up when I was talking about Cujo. I never would have thought of that. And I read that book. So yes. Yeah, of Mice and Men. I would love to see Suntup do of Mice and Men. I'm getting looked at because I'm an hour and a half into the live. So producer Jill, the temperature's up too. I got a blood pressure thing, man. So one of these times you're going to talk about a booktuber or an author I can't stand, and I'm just going to face plant right into the keyboard. You guys are going to stare at my bald spot for like 15 minutes and think this is some of Jeff's best content. Well, now that we all know his name, time to go. Good night. Good night. Good night. You know what? Please subscribe to his channel. That's my penance for dragging somebody. I owe him as many subscribers as I can give him. It's my penalty. And my apologies to you, my booktuber in arms. Keep up the good fight. May you read all the thin, uncomplicated books you can get your hands on. I hope, to this booktuber, may all your books have stellar covers, few pages, and short sentences. Because anything beyond that, you saying you have blood pressure issues is the least chaotic thing so far this stream. Man, that's like off my chest now. I do encourage everybody to go out and look at booktubers. I was telling somebody, like, they fall into a few categories. You know what? I'm probably going to get canceled by going on with this stream of thought. But some of these booktubers are very attractive young people who use books as an excuse to be very attractive on video. Did I walk a line there? And they can get buckets. They're young and attractive. Like, those are 2 things I don't have. And so they get a lot of viewers because people like looking at young, attractive things. And then there are the booktubers who are just morons. Then there are the booktubers who are incredibly smart that, but dry. They know their books and they talk with authority, but they don't inject a whole lot of personality. So again, the 3 booktubers I recommend, It's Terrific, Sean Lynch, and Sin's Book Nook. None of them scratched their nose as much as I have tonight. How far are you into Blood Meridian? I'm not. I just got Blood Meridian. I ordered it from Folio. But I want to read my Suntup, at least a chapter, because that's got to be a fantastic letterpress experience. And then put it away because I'm a clumsy guy and I'd be too terrified. And then maybe read the rest out of the Folio edition. because Suntup didn't do an AE, so I can't do it that way. But I'm getting the Folio Blood Meridian. So not far at all. Let's go ahead and compliment him, though. He can listen to audiobooks like mad. He's a 5-time speed audiobook person. I'm shocked he even hears the names. He has a gift. You know, they say the brain can process information faster than most people can speak. So he might be completely average, but he's hacked the system. He's talked about books. I guess here's the thing. He's obviously unscripted. So he looks at what he's listened to over the last month, and then he puts the camera on. He does his commercial for his other channels, and then he goes to talk about the books he was supposed to read, and then he has nothing to say. And 10 minutes later, he has more views. I don't know. You should try Better Than Food. He's pretty good. Better Than Food? Okay. I'm stammering. Yeah, I can't stay focused on audiobooks. I've never done audiobooks except for Blood and Smoke by Stephen King, because he wrote those and he published them only as audiobook in audiobook format. So that was the only way you could get those King stories at that time. So I dug it. But yeah, you have to, like, when I read, I like to go back and what did I like? Wait, I didn't catch that one part. You know, you can review, you know, it's all there. You can go at your own speed. But when somebody's reading, if something else happens and you're distracted, well, that's a stream of time and it's lost to time. But when you go on long drives, audiobooks are insanely awesome. I listen to audiobooks when I peel lemons for. Oh yeah, see, when you're doing some sort of task that doesn't require your focus, that's great. You know, I'm getting a hard look from producer Jill. I've triggered Jeff to the max. You have. I'm like wiping away tears. I can only do nonfiction audiobooks, but I love them. That's cool. Yeah. Stephanie Crawford said that, producer Jill. Stephanie, you've given the only comment that's gotten Jill's attention this whole night. She hates when I out her like that. It's very true. For the Merrimack Halloween Book Fair, I had a card printed with the Books of Horror banner on it. On the back, I had a classic 1980 horror paperback and changed it into my business card. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Good night. Hell yeah, Team Jill. She's Team Jill. You want a fan. But this guy's still got 3,999 more fans than you, Jill. And he doesn't remember anything he reads. I asked everyone to tell me what book I was using for the card. Nobody knew it but Josh Mallerman. What was it? Time to check out for the evening. I'm sorry, Jason. I had to go out real loud. Sorry, Jason. I'll try to be more, Showed it to Josh and asked if he knew what book. He said Off Season right away. Oh, that's bonkers. That's cool. I would have known it. Right away. Good night to all of you, you wonderful book writers and book readers. Jeff, your new camera and background of books looks great. Thank you, number one. I'll post it on the Jeff Word. Please do. I want to see it. I love those pieces of art you shared, Hans. You got some mad skills. If I ever met you, Hans, I'd have to have you remark one of my books. Yeah, I don't care. It's my book. It doesn't matter you didn't author it. If Glenn Chadbourne can remark books, maybe you'll remark. I'll get up that book from the booktuber, who I won't name. And he's writing a book, Jill. Jill knows. Once I shut this down, her night's just beginning. Her night of hell is just going to start. I did some Remark King books. I did. I saw. Didn't you do the Calvin and Hobbes deal? Am I wrong? Didn't you do Peanuts? Didn't you take classic cartoons and do a King thing? Yeah, that's it. Yep. Oh, that was awesome. I remember you sharing those images. You got some skills, man. That's not easy. You did awesome. If any of you are looking for a good booktuber, I suggest reading Riley. Calvin and Hobbes Christine. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. I'm so angry. So let me just say a couple other things. Yes, I'm reading Child Alone. I'm getting Blood Meridian. So I showed you The Outsiders. I showed you the Fracassi and the Mailorman I got, but I didn't show you this. Blake Crouch just came out with the Pines trilogy was out of print, and he re-upped with a new publisher, and they did this new set of paperbacks. Very cool. And he was doing 75 signed sets. So each one of these is signed by Blake Crouch. And they were selling them through Maria's Bookshop in Colorado. They all sold out, but he's going to do more, which kind of gets me mad because I was like, oh, I could say this is limitation of 75, but he's going to do more. So, it's cool, right? I mean, I will say these are some floppy ass paperbacks. Like the cover material isn't very thick. So these are like the weakest. I'd be very careful about damaging them. But the Pines trilogy is amazing. These are all signed. You support a local bookstore. So all of those are fantastic reasons to get a set if you are of a mind and you like Blake Crouch. And I will say, the spine stuff is cool. 1 pine, 2 pine, 3 pines. That's cool. And I would say this design and the elements that went into these 3 books is still more thought than Gauntlet gave them. So that's that. Hey, Daniel, good to see you. Jeff going off. Yeah. Did you do an unboxing for The Outsiders? Yes, and I'll post that tomorrow. Yes, The Outsiders. It's a very thin book. I'll put it in the middle so it doesn't look like it's bent. Very thin book. Whew! Huff-worthy. Very solid, nice slipcase. The book fits really well. It's a great book. So I obviously didn't get the numbered edition yet, but great stuff. Are you sure those SIGs aren't facsimiles? No, I saw a video of him signing. They're all different. Well, maybe they got one over on me, but I bought them because Blake Crouch shared the link himself, and he said he's signing 75 sets. So I bought with confidence. I wasn't disappointed. I just scored a sub-press copy of Lansdale Shadows Kith and Kin for $30. Damn. That's nice. $30. Well, on that nice note, I'm glad you did. I'm going to get going. I'm gonna hop off. Hour and 43 minutes into it, and that's not counting the 5 or so minutes of technical difficulties. So it's been a while. Jill's really mad at me. I'm going to be mad all night. I'm going to be furious. This guy's writing a book. So I'm going to go. And yeah, I'll be back when the week is new, and I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too. Yes, Philip, we'll do a live when I'm done. That'd be awesome. We'll do a live and talk about Child Alone with Strangers and all that. Producer Jill, you were thanked for letting me do a live tonight. Have a good night, everyone. I love seeing you guys every week, and I will see you again next week. So Leave me to my agony. Oh,